Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. If you would, allow me to share with you for a moment some realities that I'm sure we can all identify with. There's some strange things that's going on around the world. Those of you who have access and interest of events that are happening around the world, I'm sure that you are kind of well abreast of what's happening. For those who do not have the access, I'm sure you're just as ignorant as some of us are at home. But the same things that's happening around the world, they're not unique, for they're happening here in our country as well. In our country, we have a group of people who have determined, based upon their background, based upon their beginning, based upon the foundation of their living, they were taught some things, some ways of operating in life that served them well, but it appeared to be from the pit of hell to others. And it would have been agreed on by those who were causing all this pain. If that pain had to come to them, they would not accept it. So this was pain and suffering from the foundation of this establishment called the United States of America. And it was not new. The people who came here, amongst people who were already here, living their lives, however, we don't really know, because who's going to tell us? But they came from a place running from it because of the way they were being treated. And they came here trying to find a new place where they can start something supposedly different. And the foundation of their finding was to start abusing and taking control of others' homeland by any means necessary. But it didn't stop there. I heard that they did some crazy things to the Chinese people. Let me pause this because it looks like I'm getting dark. I got to go find me some sun someplace. Well, this is more sun, and it might end up being better for this purpose. And so we have the people, my friends, who are just reflecting on their history, whether it's all across the other parts of the globe or whether it's happening here in America. In America, slavery, one of the worst things that could possibly happen in America, is not unique to America. I understand slavery has probably happened everywhere. And it is as bad in one place as it is in another. And so when we think about here in America, we say America a crazy foundation. And they were talking about starting a new nation where men were equal at the same time that they were holding slaves. So we know the whole foundation was a hypocritical lie. But that's the way men are. Remember this, ladies and gentlemen. That's the way men are. Today we have that same experience in America. We have a young man, Donald J. Trump, who was raised up by a monster evil man, who he himself was raised up by a monster evil family, who they themselves were raised up by a monster evil family. So we can see what these boys that Donald Trump has been, I guess, raising up. They are patterned just like him. We don't know what the youngest one is going to be like yet, except what else could he be like. And then on the other side, we have to understand that these are the people who don't support these extremes. Yet they themselves are responsible, whether we are descendants thereof, whatever, we are guilty of the system that has allowed such people as these that we're trying to talk about as being detrimental to this nation. They came up in the belly, the womb of America. America, do you hear that? All of this ugliness, it came out of your belly. You can't blame it on anyone but America. And those of you who have been victims, how could you do anything other than accept it? Because you yourselves were being trained by the same as these were being trained. Well, we got an election going now. You got the mother of this monster in this country, each running to be the boss of this country. In other words, you got the mother and the child running for the position of top dog in America. The mother and the child. The mother and the child. Now think about this. What if there were a God? What if there were a power that cared about you, every human being on the face of the earth? What if there was a power that planned and created an earth such as this that we call an earth, with all of the things that this earth is about? Rivers and valleys and hills and mountains and trees and grass, and you keep on naming it, sun and clouds and moons and space and air. Oh my God. And most all of it serve the purpose for which we need. Not only that, out of the animals, the insects, and all that life that was given, came up with humans, you and I, male and female, with purpose to procreate, to keep the earth going. Not only that, but knowing what would be required for our continued existence, put on the earth the resources necessary for making food so we wouldn't starve, clothing so we could cover ourselves, shelter so that we could be out of the elements, freedom so we can be who we are. My friends, prosperity, that who we are, produces wealth and joy in our lives, and happiness. And putting these together means that we, this power, would have our needs, our wants, and our desires met when we choose. Now that's the kind of God that each of us would desire. Even though we have it, we would desire it because we don't know we have it. We don't know we have it because we've been trained not to know. But we have that kind of God. Ready? Most of the things that I've just got through explaining has already been provided for. Those resources that could make cars so you can have transportation, buses, planes. Oh man, all of that provided for. And the intellect, the intelligence, the knowledge to do all these things handed down through the means of what? Imagination. And then just sending people here. And what you don't know is that the sicknesses that we have, the diseases that we have, people have been sent here with knowledge of how to cure each and every one of these sicknesses and diseases. But it's illegal to produce it because the foundation of this man-made system is predicated on the ability to milk resources from you in the form of money that is usable across the globe. And so you walk around sick. To see people moaning and groaning from pain that just won't stop. Day and night, constant pain that just won't stop. And medication might be there that could kind of stop the pain or minimize it. But the cost for certain forms of the medication is astronomical, and some people could never afford it. But it's about making money, not about healing you or using your sickness to get your money. A system set up just like that, ladies and gentlemen, is part of this mother that's running to be the next spokesman. And I'm not talking about Miss Harris. I'm talking about the government of the United States of America. I'm talking about the governmental systems of the world. And I'm talking about how you respond to it. We know how you've responded to it because we see all of that. But what I want you to be familiar with is that which you don't know. Is that this stuff, that the God that is not a white man or a black man or a woman or a man, but a power that everything that your senses will allow you to identify is responsible for the existence thereof. And you can't look at any face except your own, because that power is available and is designed to live in each and every last one of us. And the things that it does allows us to be free to be who we have been designed to be, to allow us to engage in the process of creating all of the stuff: food, clothing, shelter, education. Each of us plays some part in that and so much more. But the part that we play makes it possible for all human beings to suffer for nothing, because the abundance is there, the need, the want, and the desire. You know what? When you get this message and you start changing, the medications that will be made to bring some comfort to your illnesses will be available to you. Not only that, at the end of life, when the individual decides, not the government, not the community, when you decide that you don't want to live any longer, then you can take the necessary action to have professionals come by. I'm talking about euthanasia. I believe without a doubt every man got the right to determine when they want to die. I mean, it comes to you when you don't want to. It catches you off guard. It catches when you're begging, please, and you can't do anything about it. Now you find yourself when you say, I'm ready to go, and some try to tell you, no, you can't. You might not be able to tell yourself when to be born, but it's very possible that you can tell yourself when to leave. And I think if you are going through pain and suffering that you don't want to go through, and you got a sound mind, and you understand what you're doing, you understand what you're leaving, and you're not even worried about where you're going, that you can make that decision. I don't want to live anymore. Not that I'm against humanity, perhaps, and you may be, depending upon who you are and what it's all about. But you got that decision. And this is divine. This is God, my friend, loving you and allowing God to live in you, knowing that each individual that you see is a representation of God, just as you are. Blessed to engage in the process of creating heaven here on earth. And while we at one point might not know the different roles, I guess I can say that right, in its connection one to the other, but eventually it is. And it doesn't cause any pain. It doesn't cause any suffering. It brings joy to the process, because now you can see how it works. Now you can see how there are no ghettos. Now you can see that there's no sicknesses going around. Now you can see there's no need to lie, to cheat. There's no need to hate and be a racist or a bigot. There's no need to terrorize or have war. There's no need to do any of that stuff. Why? Because you are alive. You are alive because someone told you the truth and you trusted it. And you start applying it. And you start watching the outcome. You started protecting the results by sticking to what works and growing to do better. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to talk any longer to you. I just wanted to come out here while I was feeling that something should be said in relationship to what I've just spoken about. And I want you to know that this hell is all man. And every person running for office, telling you and promising you that they can do certain things. They might be sticking to the rules and regulations that have been established in that particular system or that particular nation and trying to adhere to it. But all of the rules that are provided by all of the nations, every last one of them, and the people that represent them, that speak for them and carry out the rules and orders, are all working against heaven. Most of them have no idea what they're doing. Many of them think what they're doing is as righteous can be. Just don't know any better. But if they, my friends, could watch the results could teach them that pain and suffering is not from God. It's from man. By man making mistakes, man making bad choices. When God leads you, it comes out fine. And when you make a mistake, when you have a relationship with God, you have no problem dropping it and finding what works. But this is a man's world. I want you to know again, and I'm gone. The power is invisible. And it can only be visible if you allow it to live in you. But understanding that it is big enough to be spread to everyone. And you can't hold any more than you are. Take care of that. And we're going to change America. We're going to make America great. I'm just starting, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what I'm going to tell you next, but y'all be back. You know that. And what I'm telling you is good. It is absolutely beautiful. And we're going to truly make America fantastic. And the purpose of it is to be an example to the world. And we're not trying to be better than anybody. We are the same as anybody. But we're going to use what we are learning to do what we got to do. Thank you and have a good day.